Hey, welcome to Seeds Move Mountains. I'm Jeff, and today I'm going to show you how to build a really low budget raised planter box. So raised bed, we're going to do one tier of a 2x12. This is Doug fir, and we're just going to build it 8 feet long by 3 feet wide. If you want something that's really permanent, I highly recommend you going with cedar. Cedar's going to last for a lot of years, but we're not figuring we're going to be in this house for that long. So we're going with Doug fir, and I think this is a 2x4 that is pine. I'm pretty sure it's pine. It might be Doug fir as well. So we're going to do it the cheap way. It'll give us quite a few years here in the Colorado arid climate. If you're in a more humid climate, you definitely don't want to go Doug fir or pine for anything that's long term. Make sure you go cedar, spend the extra money, and then you might want to take your boxes higher than ours. We're just going up the length of one. You can see the one I'm sitting on here. Just one 2x12 is as high as we're going to go for these beds. Ultimately, when we get to do this in a different property that we're going to be in longer, we're going to take these boxes up higher, give us more soil in there, give us more longevity. But right now, this is going to get us exactly what we need for the next couple years. So stay tuned and let's get this thing whipped together. The sun's starting to go down, but we're going to get this thing done really fast. And these are a great way for you to have the perfect soil, perfect water control, perfect moisture into your planter boxes instead of just going straight into the ground. This gives you so much more control over everything. And another plus, if you're coming out of winter like we are, these boxes heat up pretty fast, much quicker than everything that's in the ground. So it gets you a little jump start on spring. Now we'll also cool down a little faster in the fall, so it means that your crops are going to start to deteriorate, decline a bit, especially the warm weather crops are going to decline a little bit faster in the fall. But for us, it doesn't matter. So let's get this thing built. Okay, so we're ready to start assembling this. We're going to have 9 pieces to get this thing put together. The first 2 are the 2x12 by 8 foot sections. Those are for our long sides. Then we have 2 of these 2x12 by 3 foot sections that we just cut. Those are going to be our end pieces. So we have 2 of those, one for each short end. We're going to hold it all together in the corners with these 2x4s. Now I want to say, if we were doing this long term, we wouldn't use 2x4s, we'd use 4x4s. And we'd be using, once again, cedar instead of pine or Doug fir. But this is a short term project, so we're going to try to cut our costs a bit. And then our 9th piece is going to be one more 2x4, which goes right across the middle of the long section, that 2 8-foot sides. This goes across right in the middle, and it keeps them from bowing out. This is a trick we learned from Off Grid with Doug and Stacy, and we haven't done this on any of our beds yet. We didn't know about it until we watched some of the things that they were building, and Doug was out building in their homestead, and he said he puts a bar or a 2x4 across. Well, I don't know if he uses a 2x4, 4x4, whatever. He's using cedar, but he puts a board across, and it just snugs in those sides. Because now, granted, we're only going 1 high, so we don't get that much pressure. But if you go 2 or 3 or 4 boards high, you could get a lot of bowing out, a lot of soil pressure when it gets wet, and it warms up, and then it freezes, and then it thaws, just all of that stuff that happens throughout the year. So we wanted to address that. So thank you, Doug, for the pointer. We're going to try it out on our first box here today, and I'm sure it'll be a nice upgrade. We just don't worry about that bowing or flexing, forcing out of those boards. So let's get this thing assembled here really quickly. It won't take long at all, guys. Once again, this is a poor man's raised planter box. This is not a high-end Cadillac cedar box. So know what you're getting before you build, know what your need is. Don't want to steer anybody in the wrong direction. If you can afford it, get the cedar, it's way better. But if you're just doing something for a year or two, Doug fir all the way, for sure. Okay, so what we're gonna do is first put a couple deck screws. We're using 2.5-inch deck screws, and we're gonna put these guys in right here in this corner section. Then we're gonna drop the 2x4 in, get it more secure, lock it in from both sides, and then this corner will be done. We're gonna do the same thing on all 4 corners. We're running out of daylight, so I'm gonna try to get it whipped out pretty quick for you guys. Okay, so the first 8 pieces are all together. Now all we have is just this crossbar that's going to hold everything together to stop these sides from bowing or pushing out any. So we're going to measure this inside. And when you're inside like the other side, it's exactly 36 inches, which is perfect. Means we got some pretty straight boards here. I don't think all the cuts were perfect on them, but so we're going to cut this guy, this 2x4 at 36 inches. We're going to run it right across the top, kind of right about soil level, and that's going to hold us together, keep us from just hourglassing out. All right, so we're measuring these guys dead center right at 48 inches. And then that's where we're going to put this support beam. And then we're going to use the right angle, square it off, knock it in with some deck screws, and then this guy is going to be done. All right, guys, so that's how it's done. 1 tier, 12-inch planter box for your raised garden, for growing amazing vegetables. It's super, super easy. This whole thing took me about, I'm gonna say 30 minutes, and that's with setting things to film so you guys could actually have some decent angles, so it's not horrible angles. Probably could have knocked it out in about 20-25 minutes if it wasn't for that. What I'm gonna do, we'll link this Makita impact driver in the description box. This has been a super valuable tool. We bought it as a kit with a drill and the impact driver. This thing's been running incredible for years for us, and we use it all the time, and we don't worry about overworking it, man. We work this thing pretty hard, and the battery has great life on it. So we're going to link that in the description box. If you guys are in need of an impact driver and a drill set, man, this is a good one to get. And what we're going to do in another video is we're going to show you what it takes to fill this thing. So you want to make sure you got level ground, which we're pretty close right here, but I'm going to level it off really good. And in a future video, we're going to show you the perfect soil to put in for your vegetables and how you really come about getting that. So thanks a lot for checking out Seeds Move Mountains, and until next time, guys, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it gets you to the point of wanting to build something for yourself in your yard, in your garden, to grow your own food, to be more sustainable, especially in these crazy times like now with COVID-19 and all of that. Grocery stores running low on food, stores aren't even open, things like that. Man, grow your own food, be more sustainable, because who knows if crazier times are in the future for us. I believe they probably are at some point or another. So thanks a lot, guys, and we will see you next time.